As Secretary of State in the world of today, you're always on defense. In the great state of America or the United States of the Republic, you are on defense. Why? It is wise to be. As the leading power of the world, you should be defensive. You should be kowtowing. You should be appeasing. You should be glorifying. You should be uplifting. You should be goading. You should be falsely uplifting to a status that is wrong, false. That they are so powerful. They can do so much. That they are amazing. And that's all they need to be. And trust me, if I could give you more, I would. I love you guys. We as a united world can do so much. But you know what? I have a dollar bill to protect. I'll hold you to it. I know why you loaned out every dollar bill in the world. To keep your dollar bill working. Then you had the fucking problem of loving the people too much. And the people started getting antsy. You know, Secretary of State, kowtowing in defense is the only way a superpower, I mean, number one, is ever supposed to be. You're never supposed to be offensive and egregious and aggressive and condemnational. You're always supposed to be the humbling, kinding, resolving, solving, compassionate. You already have all the power. Your job is to make sure everyone doesn't make you use it. Economically sound, strategically sound, and militarily, dude, those are still your men on the line. You don't have to use a single one. You can use the Air Force. Still, you're taking life, or you're giving away, right? You don't want to go to military. Just be the nicest guy you can as a superpower. And defense is the way of a superpower to stay a superpower. You see how the Patriots, everyone focused on them. Everyone narrowed their vision to beating them. Everyone else was irrelevant. They knew they were going to be there, and they had to beat them. We've been here, guys, since the 1940s. We are a prime suspect, a prime target, and I promise you, we have a lot of blames thrown on us justifiably. Do you want to sit here and say, we won't allow this, we won't allow that? Just shut up. You have no money. You're in debt. You're making fake dollar bills. You're a child? Are we playing Monopoly again? You know, at the end of the day, every commodity is finite. So screw you if you want to print fake dollar bills and think they can grow abundantly. There are solutions to every problem. But the best one I can give you is just get some sense of reality and give it to your fucking people. You're poor for a reason. And me, as a poor person in a hotel that just spent $120, having a 42-inch flat screen TV is not bad. Why are we giving all these vouchers out and all these free commodities? Why are we giving away welfare abundantly? Welfare exists. Dude, if I have AIDS and I can't work, I need your help. Put me in a place I can settle, that I can have my 42-inch screen. But I don't need my own apartment, my own couch, my own house, paid for by you, government. I don't deserve that. Even if I had a family with a child, you know what you would do? You would make a major class dorm. And you would say, Which one are you? Are you a druggie or not? You're not. You're a family man or not? You're a family man. Let's give him a nice, good, isolated drug. At the fucking same place that druggies and other poor people exist. You can't just standardize a way of living that doesn't make sense. I have to put in what I take out. And if I'm impossibly able to do that, then we're not the bad guys. But we're not able to have that kind of abundance forever. Right now is a hard time for every American, and you want to just give away apartments? What was the mission for? The mission was for some compassion and charity. It turns out it's a failure and a half. I have no compassion for any mission of the church. But I tell you what, if the church was accepting and turning the other cheek and was comforting and was just humble enough to accept that God came before them and God came before the Pope and God came before the church and that Jesus made the church and he's not even here and that before him Jacob was, this never ends. So why are you guys so special that your judgment is final? Why not judge that? Let's talk about the worst part in the world. We have drug addicts on camps, right? They still want to do drugs. You know why they don't live in the mission? Because if you said this section is for the druggy buggy, we're just going to open this door. It's a dorm. It's a dorm. All you guys, if you do drugs, go in there because that's all there is in there. I promise you. If you're a military vet and you're so clean and sober and high, young, then go to that one. That one's safer and more comfortable, more homely, less toxic with the fumes in the air. But this dorm right here, because we don't want the public children to see needles on the ground. Because we don't want to accept that these things won't go away. They won't. And our children shouldn't have to bear needles on the ground. They shouldn't have to bear a junkie with his arms sleeved up with fucking needle marks. It's still going to happen, as sad as it is. Why not channel it? The mission was supposed to be compassionate, humble, kind. It took the lambs. Jesus uplifted, I'm not even going to say it because Jesus uplifted her. She's more holy than any person I've ever met. But he uplifted a whore, he says. Man, how greedy and angry and justified do we have to be to overcome the Lord's compassion? In the Bible it says he uplifted a whore and he was compassionate and he honored her. You guys are just too special in the church to justify this crackhead or this drug addict having euphoria. His euphoria affords him a life of suffering. His inability to leave it is mentally proven now. His brain has rewired. Now you can't even afford to let this person do the same thing he's doing in a tent, showing little kids how pathetic life can get for someone, and rather bringing them in the mission, telling them that your life is hard, do your fucking thing, we don't approve, and we don't want our kids doing it. And you know what happens 9 times out of 10, guys? That man says, I agree. You know what I've gone through taking these drugs? I would vouch for you. I would openly state to every child, as the hypocrite I am, these are dangerous. These are toxic. You cannot go back. Don't do them, children. Look at the embarrassment I am. Every man 9 out of 10 will say that. Failure me? You know what we don't understand about drugs? Is they came before mankind. And they're a cure to most of mankind's problems. You know, they are in primitive stages. Maybe they're not. Maybe you're supposed to have elated euphoria for the rest of your life. Is that so bad that if I'm depressed and I take a drug and I feel comfortable, that I shouldn't? No, I need to feel suffering. How many times over and over is happiness the thing that is attacked? How is it that happiness can make me work longer? How is it that happiness can comfort me on a hard day? How is it that happiness can make my children's life better? How is it that happiness can make my wife a little less antsy around me because I'm not moaning and complaining about my back? You know, these things are still primitive. Not that they're primitive. There's a whole sequential code in these earthly drugs that you so say. Have you seen? I'm not going to talk about them. I'm not going to glorify them. I think they're a waste of your time. If you're a child and you're 8 years old, hear me now, child at 8 years old. You know, if you've ever had a hard day and it's hard to breathe, and you're getting on the bus and it's your first day of school and you're very nervous, or summer's over and you have to go back to school and you're like, damn it, dude, am I going to fit in? That's just it. All you did as an 8-year-old was breathe right through it. You didn't say my body's hurting, I'm sad or anything. You just said, you went with the flow in the moment, and the moment passed. Sooner or later you had a girlfriend. Sooner or later you had a friend. If you were a loner even, you understood. That was a long time ago. So any moment can be changed. You don't always have to be the insufficient. You can always be sufficient in handling stress. For the fool who made a mistake, peer pressure exists. No one tells us these things, kids. You go to high school and they're like, dude, my parents always say that shit's bad, but I tried it, I liked it. Obviously, dude, it's weed. It gave you euphoria, you liked it. They never tell you this. You like it. That's why you stay addicted. So be careful every time. And know the remedial abilities of it. Because if you are stressed, wow, I didn't know I could just be euphoric in the worst situation of my life. Why wouldn't I ever not want to be this? There's a reason. If you want to maintain a job, you need to have the stress to stay focused on the conditions you need to succeed at. So let's say financially I'm broke. What do I do about finances? I focus on the goals that can get me to a better financial state. That's what I focus on. What means get me there? What means get you there? Do you drive a truck? Do you drive a better car? Is your car nice? Can you Uber? Think about the best ways to get to a solution. And think, if you're a child and you were able to handle the problems you had as a child, then you can do that for the rest of your life and you'll never have to stop. You never have to go to the friend who says drink some alcohol. You never have to go to the friend who says smoke some weed or cigarettes. Don't vape that vape when you can just literally breathe the air you breathe now and have the same comfort. You are strong. You are consistent. Continuity in your mind has been going on for a long time. If you maintain it to the age of 32, my friend, that continuity, that cycle of stability, emotionally, that is what you are. You're continual, you're stable, you're sound, you're successive, you're progressive. You're always passing on to the next emotion and you're accepting it and then you're learning from it. You're using it. Don't go to the drugs that you don't need, but also don't be the churchian judge and say these things are bad. They are not. They have curatives. Have you heard of a trauma kit? Have you ever heard of trauma so bad that the military can't handle it? Military men can't. And they get addicted to drugs for the rest of their life because they can't get over the memories in their head. So these things are primitive, these drugs that I talk about. You know why? Because we can do that for that traumatized military man. What he's staying addicted for the rest of his life? Sooner than that. We don't need him on this regimen of drug addiction. It's sad and he's on the ground, he's poor. For the reason that he served his country. These drugs are primitive. They can be utilized correctly. There's a formula for everything. But the mission is my enemy. I can't stand how they say we're for the church, but we judge everything like we are God. Fuck you. You are not. Stand by the man on the cross and say, Father, where are you? We're looking for you.